Today, we'll be looking at the Mamagen, a motherly protege who seems to be a lot bigger than most. Let's get into it, shall we?
Boys, the wait was worth it.
Hey, where you going, big boy? Huh? Where you going? There's no escape. I can see you from a mile across the map, bro.
Timmy, where are you, baby? Mama wants to go home and go to sleep.
Why don't you take off that battle armor and slip into something a bit more comfortable?
I think you get the point. The Mamagen has been a pretty successful avatar for GhostlyShark. Once a personal model only given to close friends is now the star attraction for many users, leading to many animations, 3D renders, and artwork being produced with it. Which I can't show any of it because of course I can't. But what I can show is one of the byproducts of this success. Today, we'll be taking a look at a very special version of the Mamagen. Though, before we get into the meat of things, I'm sure a number of you have some questions. The most important of which being, why another Mamagen video? Yes, I know I reviewed the Mamagen all the way back in June when it first came out, but that video was a 10-minute in-depth mess of me trying to review my first avatar ever. I was essentially unaware of the importance of that people actually care about with avatars, like blend shapes. You know, those sliders that make the avatar do the silly faces and stuff. So, I thought since I'm doing another video, might as well address that right here and now. The Mamagen has a total of 53 blend shapes shared amongst all the parts. This tally doesn't count certain duplicates, and assumes it's the tier 3 version. So to quickly group them all up, there are 15 Visemes present and accountable, which allow for full face tracking, 23 facial expressions, 6 different types of blinking, 14 body modifications, 1 arm blade toggle, and 9 not safe for work toggles. Now, I'd love to go into detail and show what each of these blend shapes look like, but if I had to showcase all of them, we'd be here all day. Mainly because these facial expressions are shared between the main face and visor, which essentially multiplies the 23 facial expressions into 46 facial expressions. You can see now why I love the Mamagen for the expression aspect, right? So I encourage you to try them out if you decide to purchase the Mamagen yourself. And with that section quickly done and dusted, let's take it from the top and get back into the video. Cue the rest of the intro. Without the crazy stuff, okay? As you know, when an avatar becomes popular, people attempt to port it to other platforms. One such platform, and the focus of today's video, is called Neos VR, a VR metaverse filled to the brim with endless possibilities and many talented users. Most of this is thanks to the programming language built directly into the game, a little something most people know as logics, or coding spaghetti if you will, enabling limitless potential for worlds, inventions, and even avatars. That all sounds nice and all, but how does one port the Mamagen into Neos? Well, you can import a 3D model directly from your file browser right into the very world you're in, after which you plop on the game's avatar creator on the head, set the hands, and presto! Your 3D model has just turned into a fully working avatar. Well, missing some textures and other stuff. Okay. Making a 3D model into an avatar is the super duper easy part. Actually adding all those extras like textures, dynamic bones, and other cool stuff? Well, that requires going through the inspector menu and navigating through the model, which might seem familiar to those who actually use Blender on a regular basis. If you don't, I wish you the best in luck in learning or finding assistance. Anything else like certain animations features may even require understanding logics, which, all I can say, is you're in for one heck of a ride since who has time to understand the spaghetti? This is the part where you might point at the Unity packages for VR chat, to which I say, I have some bad news. With how Unity packages are handled, they aren't at all compatible within Neos itself. So, if you want to port that Mamagen into Neos, you gotta do it by hand with the model files. At least, that's what I would say if not for the Mamagen we're talking about. For you see, 3 wonderful users by the name of Akani, Shifty, and Nespa, alongside a few extra hands labeled within the credits, have come together to bring us the Neos Mamagen. This version of the avatar has many functions you know and love from VR chat, while also having its own unique elements to help it better stand out. Elements, which can only really be done thanks to the power of Neos and logics. Before I can show all the changes, I first want to address a problem unique to Neos. Just a little something to help newer players who wish to give Neos a try. When you first create a Neos VR account, you're only given 1 GB of cloud storage. This storage system is used for everything such as items, worlds, files, and even avatars. Anything you save to your inventory, excluding orange folders, takes up storage. Now, this seems fine at first, especially if you're saving much smaller items. But if you attempt to import avatars, you'll quickly take up space in most instances. If this does ever become a problem, you can increase your cloud storage by donating to the official Neos Patreon. $1 a month is all you really need to raise your 1 GB to a more comfortable 5 GB. Whether or not you decide to do this will be up to you, however. Especially if it's your first time on the platform and you haven't used any storage yet. Plus, the benefits don't begin until the next month rolls over while you're on the Patreon. I mention all of this to help those who might try to import every avatar under the sun. And I also want to show the amount of effort used to make this Mamagen optimize, because it only takes 63 MB of cloud storage, despite all the massive extras it carries inside. Which reminds me, it's time to talk about what makes this Mamagen so special. All the menu toggles you know and love have been remade into the Neos radio menu. Clothing toggles, arm blades, and the important visor toggle can all be found right here, alongside unique toggles such as changing the style of both the hair and the arm blades. Oh, and Extendo Snoot. Animations work a little differently in Neos, so the visor animation may not look like the original, but it does try its best to match the transition, while also adding some sound effects. In fact, there are even footstep sound effects whenever you walk. If you aren't a fan of the footsteps or visor's transition sounds, you can change or remove it. This requires accessing the inspector menu, but it is possible to do so. Other sounds, such as the visor idle sound, have a toggle within the radio menu to turn it off. I should mention there are a number of things missing from the VR chat version. However, most of these have either been replaced or can be added by the user, such as the RGB slider being replaced with the toggle system, or the avatar and mission brightness being added by the user themselves. The only big thing absent from all of this is the gesture system generally seen within VR chat. While Neos VR can support gestures, it's often something most users prefer to set up themselves, mostly to avoid doing random expressions or having to remember them all the time. Yes, the gesture system is generally the biggest standout for the Mamagen thanks to the visor, but this version has so much unique stuff to it that it shouldn't really be a deal breaker. And if it is one, you can add gestures in yourself or with the help of others. There are plenty of great community tools which allow for implementing this, so if you really wish for gestures to stick around, they aren't exactly gone for good. And with that, that's basically everything included with the Neos Mamagen. It might not seem like a lot, but frankly this version isn't meant to compete with the original. The focus is having an already configured and optimized Mamagen ready to receive within Neos. After all these systems take time to set up and lots of learning, which also takes time. I also want to stress that the customization is rather large thanks to Neos. If you don't like one thing, or want to add another thing, it's likely not too difficult to change it. Though, don't forget to ask for help if this is something you really want to do. There will also be issues if you want to import your own Mamagen model instead, seeing as you would have to transfer or redo certain elements to make it work. I will leave this issue to those who are insistent on wanting their Mamagen ported. In order to receive your Neos Mamagen, you'll need to get into contact with Espa. They're the one who manages the public stuff such as handing out the avatar to others. You can find them either within Neos VR itself, or within both the Neos and GhostlyShark Discord servers. Once you send proof of purchase, they'll prepare a Mamagen based on the tier you have. Everything you would need from that tier is built directly into one avatar to avoid saving multiples. From having just said that, I know exactly what you're thinking, especially if you have a tier 2 or tier 3 Mamagen. Don't worry, the team who worked on this knew exactly what they were doing, and I'll show you how. Again, all of those special toggles are only visible when the world session is set to hidden or private, meaning users can only join through invites and no one can see the world preview in the listing. Even after the session becomes hidden or private, you still need to toggle it within the menu, and even after that, you have to toggle off the clothing and other elements to actually show it. Needless to say, accidentally toggling those features in public is never gonna happen. Unless you make it happen, but we don't talk about that. So don't fret, you have nothing to worry about. Actually, there is one thing. You'll need to be inside of Neos VR with Espa when receiving your Mamagen. This does mean you and Espa have to find a time you both can meet each other in game. And given their European time zone, it might be difficult to make that happen on certain nights. There's a very good reason as to why the avatar is distributed in this way, but to explain it, I'm gonna need to talk about an issue that's been bothering the team. Ikani, Shifty, Espa, and everyone who worked on this Mamagen are in no way affiliated with GhostlyShark. They all worked on this port of the Mamagen for free to show how much potential Neos VR has, since it was a chance to promote their skills and Neos through creators such as GhostlyShark. Instead, they've been receiving countless demands asking for the Neos Mamagen, with most users often getting very impatient with Espa and not giving them a break, simply because users believe they're entitled to this version since they paid money, or believing that since they're affiliated with GhostlyShark, that they have to do it. If users continue to demand for the avatar like this, the group may stop distributing the Neos Mamagen outright. These people put their spare time into this project, even doing crunch time, to get it ready for the virtual BLFC. So I ask that you have patience when receiving your Neos Mamagen and don't be so forceful. Also, remember that Espa is the only one to contact when it comes to receiving the Neos Mamagen. There may be others helping with the distribution in the near future, but for the time being, it's just Espa and will likely stay that way for a while. GhostlyShark is busy with college and has yet to try Neos VR themselves. Shifty is a staff member of Neos and is quite busy as it is now. And everyone else? They're either busy, don't want to be involved, or don't understand Neos. If you really need the avatar inside of Neos ASAP, you're free to try importing your own. You might not have all the previously mentioned toggles, and may have to learn a lot of new stuff, but you aren't required to have this version in order to bring it into Neos. This version is simply a pre-configured avatar with some unique systems, given to those who show they have legitimately purchased the model, an effort which took a team of 3 users a combined total of 100 hours for this, all for the sake of wanting to promote their skills and the platform they're on. You might be asking why go through this rather direct method of distribution? Well, Espa will be setting up the avatar protection system on every distributed Mamagen. This system helps prevent others from trying to equip, save, or export the avatar. Except, of course, the user the protection system is assigned to, and because it's assigned the moment you activate it, you have to be the one present to do that. If anyone tries to mess with the system too much, the avatar will self-destruct. You can always spawn another one if that does happen though. This is why I don't recommend messing with the system too much yourself. It's a means to protect not only the model, but your unique Mamagen. This system also can't simply be put into a file, and there's no telling who would share it around. So there's a lot of importance to try using this method of distribution, something you don't expect from someone who is doing this all on their own accord. Once all the steps are made to receive your Neos Mamagen, it's yours to enjoy. You can add new textures, edit the menus, or whatever else you may desire, just as long as you don't redistribute yourself or edit the credits listing within the inspector. If you have any questions regarding the Neos Mamagen, you can definitely ask Espa yourself. other users are also able to help whenever needed, especially the green question mark ones. These guys are called mentors. Users within Neos assigned to help new users and fix any issues someone might be having. If anything I mentioned makes you want to try Neos VR, it's completely free on Steam. There's even a working desktop mode for those who might not have VR yet. Just remember to register an account, as you can't save anything without one. Maybe one day I'll give a tour of Neos VR for those curious on what it has to offer. I certainly wouldn't mind it. I practically live in this game compared to VR chat. Plus, recording stuff with this camera is super fun and easy. Sorry to break up what is supposed to be the end of the video, but I have one more thing to say. I'm about to get ranty again, so please give me a moment. I've noticed for a while that many users have been eager to suggest unique additions for the Mamagen, like alternate clothes or even a male and femboy version as with their previous models. Suggesting stuff like this is perfectly fine. In fact, there's a channel within the Discord server for this very reason. But to expect it to be done outright or else they would be out of their mind is a little too much. It's important to remember that the Mamagens were first and foremost a personal avatar. Given the major popularity and offers they received over the months, they decided to make it public, requiring GhostlyShark to fix many elements and features which weren't present previously, giving it the proper polish it needed so that everyone can enjoy their own Mamagen. They didn't have to do any of this. They could have kept the avatar amongst themselves and close friends. Instead, Ghostly went and gave it the polish it deserved for a public release. This is all coming from someone who has been with the avatar a month before it was made public, by the way. Many elements were practically missing in the original version, such as the safe for work textures. Even the tier 3 maternity elements didn't exist before it was made public, despite the Twitter post making it seem like the case. I'm not saying all of this to specifically attack or target anyone. I simply want to ensure people see the release of the Mamagen as a kind gesture, rather than another avatar GhostlyShark made and is selling to people for their own stuff. If you're after something huge like a male version of the Mamagen, it would be much easier to work with GhostlyShark's community. Many talented individuals and artists are there who could potentially make it a reality. If you're after new clothing options for the Mamagen, you may be in luck. Crescent Rose, GhostlyShark's newest business partner, is working on Mamagen clothes. There's currently a clothing pack containing yoga clothes, night clothes, and a sling bikini, all of which come together for $20 on Gumroad for both safe for work and not safe for work versions. There's even a pack of earrings currently in the works that work with various models. That's everything I really have to say on the matter. This journey of analyzing 3D avatars has made me appreciate the effort that goes into them. A lot of skill and knowledge is required to even be able to perform most of this stuff. Yet, despite so many popular avatars, almost no one goes into detail with their thoughts on them, leading to many hesitant to purchase a 3D avatar, especially the higher end ones, often due to a lack of refund policy, inexperience in 3D stuff, public versions, and the list just goes on and on. All of this and more is why I'm going to be giving it my all towards this review series. I promise you that if there is a premium avatar people wish to see before purchasing, I'll make sure to look it over and give it my full attention. Don't forget, I'll need your help in this too if I'm giving it my all. Avatars cost money, and all this is being done out of my pocket. So please, feel free to support me through Ko-fi. If you want me to look at a particular avatar soon, you can vote in the Google form below. This way, I can probably understand what to prioritize next and plan ahead accordingly. Together, we'll make sure people can see just what these avatars have in store. Until next time, everyone, thanks for watching.